Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our June monthly, once a month, lunch and learn session. And today we're very excited to have a LegalShield expert with us. Balbir is a senior director with LegalShield and is going to share information about herself, a little bit about her why, how she got started, and then all the different opportunities for small business owners or families or individuals to take advantage of the LegalShield membership to make sure they're protected and can, breathe easy without the fear of high legal costs. So why don't you go ahead and take it away and share your screen?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I am going to find the share button and are you able to see that?
Yes, we are.
Perfect. I'm just going to rearrange my screen a little bit. So, well, we're going to explore how LegalShield can offer services to help families, small business owners, so that you are protected in various aspects of life and in business. Yeah, so that's a quick slide on the agenda, who I am, how it benefits business owners, how it benefits families, what is LegalShield, how it became about, and how it works. And then we've got hopefully got time for Q&A at the end. So I'm going to talk about me for a second, which is something that I rarely do, but I feel that I needed to share this so that you could see where and how I got here. I do have a background in IT. Right from school, I was in computer programming, project lead, team lead, support on application programming. Did that for a very long time through various stages. And I did get the opportunity to get promoted to management, but I actually turned it down. And when they asked me why, I said, well, because I actually get paid more than you guys do. So I turned that down, but I wanted to be hands-on. And it was a good decision, I felt, because 4 years after that, when I turned down that position, they actually let go of all the managers. It was just a blanket firing of all the managers. So I was able to keep my job, which I loved. And I love the stress. However, stress, how much stress you can love, I don't know. I think I got enough of it. But there came a time where I was burnt out. People were leaving, burnt out, sick and tired of not being able to take my vacations when I wanted to. And so when the company closed down, I was actually quite happy because now I could figure out what I really wanted to do. And I knew it wasn't back into IT. When I met somebody at a networking event that did LegalShield. And I was wondering, is like, what is it? And what she told me, well, it's for everyday life. And I'm like, well, I don't really need it for everyday life. But there was a time when I was married. At that time, I was married, and I realized that things weren't as um, happy as I thought they were. And I had been so busy in my IT career that I did not even see anything like that. So, and I didn't want to get blindsided. I got the membership and I actually got separated with their help. I was able to separate and divorce. And I got the matrimonial home with the guidance of the LegalShield membership. And this picture here is the first picture I took, first vacation I took after that separation. So this is a milestone for me. And we went with a bunch of friends. And this is when I really decided that, okay, LegalShield is what I want to do. But I still had a bit of an identity crisis. And I thought, well, okay, I've got to find me. A couple of years later, personal development. I got to who I am today, and this is my family today. I have a son and daughter, and that's my son's fiance and the puppy that they have. So business owners, what can we do for business owners? Well, advice and consultation, reviewing contracts so that you don't get into trouble. Maybe you have something that you were given and you want to make sure that it's in your best interest as well as the other person. We'll get that reviewed. Collection letters, if people owe you money, the law firm can write what they call motivational letters to that person or the company and say, hey, you owe us some money. It's time to pay up. And when they see a letterhead with about 17 different lawyer names at the top, people think twice and they don't typically ask any more questions and just pay up. If you get audited, we have access to CRA audit services, and you have time with a tax lawyer so that you can ask questions and get any feedback. If they think a letter or a phone call is going to help resolve that, they will offer it, and it's part of the membership. If you need contracts drafted, it will cost extra, and depending on which plan you get, it can be as low as $250. But typically what we say is, hey, can you give us a template? We can edit that about to suit our own needs and industry and send it right back to them and say, hey, can you suggest how to make this better? And what am I missing? So most of it can be done within the membership itself. If you have employees, we actually do draft handbooks so that you can do that. There is an extra nominal fee, but it's not as much as it would be if you had someone else draft it. Anything that's not falling under the membership, there is a 25% discount on those services. And if you need an additional trial defense, there is an optional supplement that you can add to your membership. And I've lost my screen, sorry for that. Okay, and how do we protect families? Well, families, we make it affordable so that you have access to advice, representation for everyday issues, making it more approachable. Our plans cover the member, the spouse, children up to the age of 26 living at home or away at school, as well as mentally and disabled children for the life of that membership. If the member has to make those decisions for them, they will be covered for the life of that membership. But you're probably thinking, why would I use this on an everyday basis? Well, here are some examples. Have you ever thought about updating your will?
Or getting one.
Right.
You don't have one yet.
Well, maybe this is the time to get it done, but in an affordable way. So maybe your personal information has been compromised, or maybe you've been treated unfairly and you're thinking, well, can I speak to your supervisor? And then they'll go and get somebody and they'll come back and say, no, they're busy or whatever. But this actually gives you more powerful, because when you have a legal behind your back, when you have a lawyer in your back pocket, they actually stand up and listen to you. Maybe you've been a victim of identity theft. Maybe you've signed a contract that you didn't understand, or maybe you signed it at the time when it was, you thought it was good but regretted it later. Maybe you received a traffic ticket, or maybe insurance claim, or you want to know whether you were treated right on an insurance claim. Get all these paperwork reviewed by our law firm. And if you're worried about identity theft being stolen, well, we have services for that. And I'm going to go and just explain how some of these plans. So this is one of the 3 plans that we have to offer for our personal. It's $45.95 a month. It covers yourself, the spouse, or significant other, and children up to the age of 26 living at home. You can phone up and ask for consultation on any personal matter. Maybe you have maybe you starting a new job and you want to get that contract reviewed, or maybe they're giving you a severance package. Get that packet reviewed before you sign it.
Bye-bye.
Um, if you're getting a new house, or you're moving, you want to check out that mortgage paperwork or the rental agreement. It's all covered under this plan. And of course, power of attorney for um, uh, for financial, for property, healthcare. These are all covered, and you can update it once a year with these plans. And if you have 18-year-olds, highly advise you to get the wills done and the power of attorney done for them, so that in case they are not able to vocalize their wishes, you as a parent are able to make that decision for them. We actually had a member whose daughter was I think she was at McMaster. She um, became unconscious. Her roommate called the ambulance. They took her to hospital. The parents drove from Barry to Hamilton, but they weren't allowed to see her. They weren't allowed to make any decisions for her. So you're at the mercy of the hospital staff, the doctors, as to what they think is best for your child. So had they got this in place, they would have been able to make those decisions, those health decisions, for her. And they spent the whole night worrying, as parents do. We worry about everything, right? If you ever get a traffic ticket, get that looked at. With this plan, you get advice and consultation up to 2 per year, per person, that is, per member. And if you don't use one, you can carry it forward to the next year. Well, hopefully you won't need it, but if you do need it, they do allow one carryover per year. And if you need help in getting some property damage, they'll help you claim up to $5,000 with this particular plan. We also cover trial. Oops, finger trigger happy. We also have trial defense. So this particular plan allows you up to 60 hours of trial, pre-trial and trial time per year that accumulates up to 300 hours over 5 years of having that membership. So if someone decides to sue you personally, the first thing that the law firm is going to do is write them a letter and say, do you really want to sue our member, our client, because she has already prepaid for all these hours? And sometimes, most of the time, it's a deterrent, and it doesn't go any further. You have access to a tax lawyer again for personal. If you do need it, you can just pick up the phone and talk to them. Uncontested adoption and name change, separation and divorce. This is how I use my membership. And there is a waiting period for this, but you can still phone up and ask questions regarding it, but the paperwork and all the documentation and stuff, there is a waiting period for this. Prenup and postnup, get that looked at. Sometimes we need to, we don't think about this in our early stages of getting married, because we like to believe in the happily ever after, but look at me and I, but it's all good now. The other thing that I love is the 24/7 emergency access. In case you are detained, threatened, police officer arresting you or your children. We actually had one member came home close to midnight to find their daughter being arrested on the front lawn because she had been beating up the kid next door. The police came and arrested her, but they didn't know the whole story. And the story is that the parents left to go out for an evening. They left the teenager in charge of her little brother. The neighbors had a little boy, and they were friends with the other little boy, came over to watch. But this neighbor's little kid started beating up her little brother. So of course she beat him up, as an older sister does, right? Well, the little boy ran home crying, and they called the police, and that's how she was arrested. But having this app, having access to this 24/7, she was not arrested and taken back. She had her parents phoned, and she did not have to spend the night in jail. Anything that the membership doesn't cover, you have a 25% discount off the hourly rates. And about 80% of things will probably be covered under this. It's just obscure things that maybe, but on a day-to-day, these things are pretty much cover everyday occurrences. We also have ID Shield is another service available for personal use. It monitors personal information online, provides alerts, and lets you know if there's any potential threats out there. This is the ID Shield plan that we have to offer. We have two. We either have a family plan, $29.95. That protects your whole family. They would only monitor the member and spouse, but the children would have access to consultation and restoration should anything happen. And what they've typically found is that sometimes the children's social insurance number is used by maybe some distant family person, and their credit's been used. Then maybe they've taken out a loan or credit cards, and they tend not to find out until, when they become 18, 19, when they start doing their own, maybe they're looking for a job, or they do the credit score. This is when they find out that somebody has been abusing their information. So with this plan, the children, even though they're not monitored, they would have full access to the consultation and restoration services, which are included with this price. But if you're just by yourself and anybody over 18, we recommend it. But if you're with a family, then you'll be covered, but you wouldn't be monitored. So it's either $29.95 for the family or $14.95 individual. And even if it's a couple, I would still recommend the family plan, because then you would be able to protect 15 of your devices as opposed to 3 each on an individual plan. So we monitor your information. It tracks your score. We're partnered with TransUnion. We monitor things like your bank accounts and social insurance number, but passport, driver's license, health card. When the pandemic was happening and soon as it was over, I didn't want to go to the airport to find out that someone had abused my passport and I was banned from going somewhere. I wanted to know as soon as things happened so that I could be proactive and not find out at the last second. So having all these things monitored for me, peace of mind. And if you're not worth 50 cents a day, it's not a lot of money to keep yourself protected. And all these services as well. So we monitor the dark web, make sure that if there's any information out there, we'll let you know as soon as possible. We have partnered with Trend Micro. They give us a VPN, which gives us a secure shield around our devices, whether it be your phone or your laptop, your desktop. But with the individual plan, we can protect up to 3 devices. With the family plan, we can have up to 15 devices on that family plan. So geared for yourself, your spouse, and the kids. And we also have a password manager. If you have trouble remembering your passwords, we help you remember the complicated ones. The other thing that we have is anti-malware, so that you can put it on your phone, on your desktop, on your devices, so that there's no malware coming in, there's no viruses. I had a personal story where someone texted me a PDF, and And they said, can you look at it? And I clicked on this link. My Trend Micro blocked it because they said that there was a virus in there. And I'm so grateful because I kind of trusted this person. I'd only known them for a week. And I thought, well, I was not suspicious at all. So I'm just so grateful that I had someone making sure that I didn't do any stupid stuff. Because we think, we trust people, but sometimes we get taken advantage of. So having something like this, huge peace of mind. We also have reputation management, so we watch social media and make sure there's no damaging posts out there. We had someone whose young age daughter was drinking a mocktail, and she herself had an alcoholic cocktail. But from a picture, it didn't look any different. And ID Shield flagged it, saying there's a minor drinking what looks like to be an alcoholic drink that could have harmed that person later on in life when she was maybe applying for jobs or other things, because they could see that as being an irresponsible parent and child, right? But they don't know that it was a mocktail. So they'll let you know, and then it's up to you whether you want to take that post down or not. Um, like I said, we have specialists. These thieves are specialists in their field. Well, we need a specialist helping us get our identity back and doing, because I wouldn't know what to do if something were to happen. I wouldn't know what to call, who to call, what to do. And watching your information for 6 months, 7 months, so it doesn't happen again, because that's what they do. Is sometimes they don't do anything, and once your guard is down, they may start using, opening up a credit card or a line of credit or something. So we have full service restoration. They will do whatever it takes, however long it takes, to get you back to pre-theft status. Obviously, you must not know about any breaches once you take out this service. If you know something, if you think that your identity is being stolen and information is out there, then you can still consult with them, and they'll let you know what you can do, but they will be there for any further breaches. So this is our company. It's 53 years old. We're protecting nearly 5 million lives now. We are across 5 provinces in Canada. They are Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC, and we are across the US as well. And our vision, our founder's mission, was to protect and give equal justice to every human being. We've been written up by a whole bunch of magazines, and they like us. This is actually, I'm sorry about the fuzzy picture, but this is the closest I could get. This is actually how it started. Mr. Harlan Stonecipher was in this accident. This is his car that was a wreck. And we believe that's that woman who caused the accident. It wasn't his fault. He had car insurance to help his car rebuild his car or get a new one. He had health insurance because he did get badly beat up. He had life insurance had he needed it to protect his family. But this woman sued him, and he said, I'm not protected. He used all his savings to prove himself innocent. And the judge says, congratulations, you are innocent. And he says, I've just spent my life savings trying to protect myself. Right? So, and then he says, there must be something I missed that I didn't get. Well, he went hunting. There was nothing around. So he created this back in 1972. Because he says no one should go through what I had to go through, and want to help as many more people. So this is how it started. The gentleman is no longer with us. He died just before I joined in 2014, but his vision lives on. And I always forget to mention the member perks program. But basically we have a discount program along with any of these memberships. It's included, so you can save money, rental cars, hotels, electronics. I actually saved over $200 when I got my Lenovo laptop that was on having a special at that time. If you're going to the US, there's more things there as well, but there's certainly savings to be had. One of my members, and he was joking at the time. He says, actually, I have a membership to the Perks program, and the legal side is my benefits, because he says every time I go to the US and book a car, I save over $500, which more than pays for his legal membership. So, everybody is different, but these perks are there to help save you money. And there are quite a few savings to be had even in Canada as well. So by utilizing these services, LegalShield gives you peace of mind knowing that you're protected legally and against identity theft as well, so that you can focus on your daily lives without worry, carry on doing what you need to do, your business, your family, and not worry about all these other things. And of course, the high legal costs in case you do need them. And that's it. Any questions, ladies?
Yeah, I have some questions actually.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to know, the $45, right, per month,
Yeah.
is that the only plan you offer, or do you offer like options like bronze, silver, gold, something like that?
We do. I just showed, having shown all the plans across, it might have been a bit overwhelming. So I just showed the middle of
Oh
the
no.
road plan.
No, no, no,
Uh,
it's me. It's me. I came in late, so that's why. Sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. So we do have plans starting at $36 a month, which is a basic plan. And we also go up to $60 a month if you want, the cherry on the cake as well. So different levels of plans depending on what it is that you need. And we would do a needs analysis to make sure that you have the right plan for you. So if you have children under the age of 26, then the plan I showed you, that would cover the children. The basic would not cover the children, but the premium one would. So it depends on what your needs are and what you want. We have a plan. So
Yeah. So I have a second question.
sure.
Then when you talked about that prenup, right? Like
Yeah.
a prenup plan. Just suppose, I'm just hypothetically saying, suppose my son decides to get married, and how does it work? Like, will he buy the plan, or do you need to buy it in advance so that should your grown children get married, then they are covered as well, or no, it doesn't work that way? How does the prenup work?
So they would need to get the plan themselves. So the prenup covers the member.
Okay, so they get
Okay.
the plan. So,
So
but
it's
how
only
much will
the
it be? How much will it be? So basically, like, so for example, if they're getting married, and I think this is a very important thing for all young people to consider, considering all the messy divorces that I hear about, and I'm sure all of you hear as well. So, what is it like? Do they pay for that couple takes, or no, only he takes it, and then that's like a $45 that he's paying every month for lifetime? Is that what it is?
for yes, for the lifetime, so that, and also so you get all the advice and the consultation that you need beforehand, and um get the prenups done, and at the time of the wedding as well, all those individual parts of the wedding, your
Contract.
DJ, the contracts, the catering, get all those contracts reviewed as well, so that you find, if there's any messy clauses, maybe there's something they want to a way out, maybe they can put those in as well. So getting all those contracts reviewed is all helping towards that happy wedding day. And maybe if there's any delays, they have somebody to call and say, what do we do?
Right,
And then
right.
once they're married, the wife can be added to the plan as well. So it's no extra cost for the wife. It's one price for the whole family.
So the $45 will cover his wife and him.
Correct. And future children.
Okay,
But
so
you getting it would only cover yourself, your spouse or significant other, and any children up to the age of 26, not married, at home or away at school.
okay, got it. Sorry, I'll wait
So,
for others to ask questions, but I have some other questions too, but I'll
yeah.
wait for others to ask.
I have that plan and it covers myself and my husband and my 3 children. And Glennis, you know, my boys have a little, after school business, and my son's starting to break out and do other things. So I'm planning on, we haven't done contracts for his business, but we need to, like fence repair. So I'm planning on running those through a lawyer to make sure we're covered that way. But one of the reasons I got LegalShield, and I got it many years ago, was I was just starting out with this business I currently have today, so over 7 years ago, and I was hiring contractors and freelancers. And I was going online, looking up templates for contracts, and I was picking and pulling pieces from here and there. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. This might be good, it might not be good. And anyway, yeah, so I got LegalShield back then, and just sent the contract in for review, and kind of went back and forth a couple times with their suggestions, and was able to create a template then for myself that I could use over and over after that, and I felt good about it.
Okay, so no extra charges. You were able to cover everything with the monthly charge that you're paying.
For this particular thing, yeah, you just go, like, what happens when you become a member, you get an app. You
Right.
download the app, and then you just tap on the app to request a consult, and then you upload the existing documentation that you have, and give any particulars that are needed to help them understand what the contract is about. In most cases, it's pretty straightforward. And then, yeah, just what Balbir said earlier is, how can I make this contract document better, and what am I missing, right? And they'll come back and give you information that should be added, or things you should, that are not, in your favor.
Okay, got it.
Can I just clarify that Christine had the business plan?
Oh,
So,
I added
Oh,
that
okay.
on too.
so
Yeah.
it covered that. Now, the plan I just showed you for the personal, you can add a what they call a business add-on, a business supplement for another $14.95, as long as you don't have any employees. You can add that on, and that covers your business as well. And the good thing about the personal plan and the business add-on is that you can write it off as a whole business expense, because you cannot get that business portion without the legal portion. There are 3 other levels of business plans, and they start at $49 a month, and they are per business, and they are more dedicated for small business owners.
Okay. Okay. So, for example, if you are organizing an off-site event and you're organizing it elsewhere, then so I get kind of confused with insurance and with LegalShield. So I guess you have to be careful as to what the demarcation is, right?
It's not insurance that we
Yeah.
will cover. It's not a liability insurance. What it
Yeah.
is that you have, how can I? It's like a Netflix subscription. You pay
Hmm.
monthly a basic fee, and if there's anything extra that um that's not showed up as included with Prime, and you want to rent extra, then you pay extra, and that's exactly how this LegalShield memberships work. If it's part of the membership, you're covered. If it's outside the membership, then you will pay a little bit extra. But the good thing about it is that you're not going to get a bill for asking this question. They might say, no, I can't help you with this plan. It's going to cost more.
Right.
And you could say, hey, does the next plan up cover that thing? Because sometimes it might be worth to upgrade the plan as opposed to
Right.
paying hundreds, if not, thousands of dollars extra. And then you're covered.
Glennis, if you're talking about running an outside event, like running a disc session where you rent a room,
Yeah.
where you might use LegalShield is to ensure that the contract you sign with the rental company is accurate and
Okay.
binding and, you know, no clauses against
Got
it,
it.
right?
Okay.
But
Yeah,
if
that's clear.
you, that's would be different than having event liability insurance.
Event liability. Okay, that's right. That'll be a different thing.
Yeah.
So I had a final question. Thanks, Christine, for that. I just had a final question. Suppose somebody needs a lawyer, like, for divorce and for things like that. I know my cousin is really having a tough time in Nova Scotia. But so can they employ Legal Shield then and pay the 45 per month and then they get really good family law coverage?
So a couple of things there. We are not in Nova Scotia.
Okay.
So we're, like I said, we're only covered in Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC right now.
Okay.
So unfortunately, it would not work for her, but typically you would get the membership, you would get advice. Now, if it's uncontested, like mine was, then it'll be covered. If it's contested, as in you're still arguing over children, assets, finances, you're going to have to retain a lawyer. But if the good thing about it is that if you retain a lawyer through LegalShield, if you take one of their recommended lawyers, then it will be at a 25% discount. So instead of $400 an hour,
Mm.
they'll be paying $300 an hour. So it's still it's going to cost you more. I mean, the legal plan, like I said, is only going to cover about 80% because it can cover everything for this low price. And having 24/7 emergency access. I mean, we've had numerous members call in. They were stopped by a hostile police officer, and it's just a service that for this price, that's all they can do. Anything extra would have to be extra.
Got
I
it.
think
It's like a
Sharon
peace of
had,
mind.
thank you for those great questions, Glennis. I'll just throw in another thing. Another reason why I got LegalShield was for wills and power of attorney, because I was looking around and it's $1,300 right now. And that is unfortunately not in our budget. But for my membership fee, my monthly membership fee, it's like, in a way, I feel like I'm deferring the payment and getting the wills and power of attorney done. So.
But you're getting so much more. You
And
have,
so much more. Yeah. Yeah.
and you don't
Sorry.
have to find all that 1,300 all in one go.
Yeah. Sharon, I think you had a question.
I was just wondering so the business plan has to come with the individual plan. Like it's not like you can just buy for business. You have to
No,
get.
you can.
Oh, you can.
You can.
Okay. And then do you just pay monthly?
Those are monthly as well, and they start off at $49, $99, and $169. And even the most comprehensive, the $169, is still less than half an hour of a business lawyer's time, and you get a whole month worth of phoning up Monday to Friday. I actually had one person who came to me, and he said my legal fees are 50,000 a month. He's dealing in cryptocurrency, and I said, this even the most comprehensive plan is not going to cover what his needs are. And he says, well, I have a lawyer that charges me $700-800 an hour. I says, I can't replace that lawyer, but I can reduce your legal bill. So I says, you keep that niche lawyer to do the important stuff that you need that niche expertise. But for all the easy stuff, all the common stuff, get the 169, because he had 4 other partners as well, and they could use it easily. Use LegalShield for the common things, the easy things, and keep your niche lawyer to a minimum.
So what if you are on a subscription and then your situation changes and like say you don't want to do the business anymore? Can you cancel, or are you
You can
committed to
cancel.
like a
you can cancel.
Yeah, when you sign up, you become a member and you can pay annually or you can pay monthly. So at any point, you can decide to downgrade or stop your membership.
Okay.
So are you thinking about a membership for your business, Sharon, your VA business?
I don't know. I just came really to learn more about what it actually is, because I know some of the services that are included we have already. So I just wanted to find out more.
Yeah, so for a VA, definitely for contract and agreement reviews,
Yeah, that's
making sure that your standard agreement for your website
Mhm.
development
Mhm.
is protecting you. But also, if you have non-payment from clients, letters sent on your behalf from the lawyer to get those payments collected. Or if you have subcontractors who are working for you, like maybe you get busy and you need to hire another web developer to help you out with certain things.
Mhm.
There's also protection against breach of contract.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to give them 50% up front and then they don't do the work, that kind of thing.
Mm.
You still have to do the work for your client, whether or not the subcontractor does it for you, right?
Mhm.
So there's lots of options, I think, for your VA business alone. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know if you have personal things with you have young kids just like me. If you've got those things straightened away. LegalShield will also allow you to do the yearly update of your will.
Okay.
Make sure the power of attorney is, in place.
Mm.
Should things change. I know I was talking to a lady yesterday and she goes, "Oh, I have a will." And she said, "Oh, but it's 27 years old. Maybe I should get that looked at." I said, "I think things have changed since then."
Yeah, no, that's
The
good.
the reason why I was recommending the business supplement with the personal plan is so that you're covering your personal life,
Mhm.
like your wills. Most solopreneurs are individuals and you don't have employees. That's
Mhm.
why this plan is actually more powerful than the small business plan that costs 49. If you're looking for a lot of things, the next business plan would be $99, which can be a lot for the solo entrepreneur. But if you don't need that, the smaller plan would cover yourself and your business at a better
Um,
price.
do you have a link with all the information so we can go back and read up on everything? Because I know it was quite a bit of information.
There is a lot of information. Yeah, so we can send you some brochures that has all the details, and then we can follow up with you if that's okay. Answer
Sure.
any more
Or
questions.
yeah, or if there's a website link, you can send that along too. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'll be included. But I'm just
Oh,
saying
okay.
sometimes the website can be confusing because there's a lot of information. So
Mm.
I'll send you the information, then you'll have a better understanding of what it is that you're looking for. Then you go to the website for
Okay.
the finer details. I think that would be that might be better.
How
Okay.
about you, Lena? Do you have questions?
Hi, sorry, I'm just in and out of meetings at work too, so I was just listening to everything. I know I heard everything, I didn't miss anything. But yeah, so I think I would like that information as well, Balbir. It's just I have three companies which are completely separate from each other, and I would really like to know. I know one of them would really benefit from something like this because they've just had to deal with a lawsuit and they are working with a lawyer, and I know it can get expensive. So I am looking for them. This would actually be really good for them because it's a growing business. And they will need this kind of support moving forward. Just looking at, the kind of lawsuit that they had just to deal with just now. Um, and it would be nice to have someone on their side just because, they're starting off, they're still new. But this is interesting for me because there's a couple of partners involved in that company. So just knowing if like the whole business would be covered, it'll be a couple, like four of them who are a part of that company. So some of them have more shares than the others. I will forward that information to the team. And if I have more, like you said, if you can send brochures, that would be amazing.
So in that particular business, you said there's 4 partners?
Yes.
Okay, so I can tell you instantly, the 169 a month
Yeah.
would cover that business, because you've got that will cover up to 5 business partners, so that they can all
Right.
phone in independently of each other, as well as whoever else that you want to be authorized user of these plans as well.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at for them, for sure. So
Okay.
yeah, I know they will need more information. So if I can send those brochures that you sent over, I can forward it to them, and then their team can look at it and get back to you directly.
Okay. Are they in Ontario?
Yes. Yes.
And are they for profit?
Yes.
Okay, because business plans will not cover non-profits.
Yeah, it's a for-profit company. for
Perfect.
sure. Yeah.
Perfect.
Can I just ask
So
one
yeah,
more
no, this
question?
was. Mhm.
So, for the business side of things, you see a lot of sites have things like terms and conditions, privacy, disclaimers, and all that stuff. Is that something that you could also use LegalShield for, or is that something completely different?
Any documents, any agreements, anything. I use LegalShield. So I do the Sip and Mingle events, which is like a networking event with wine. And on the sign-up sheet on the Eventbrite, we had to put a clause in there. And I got that reviewed and say, hey, is this enough? A disclaimer saying you've got to be over 18 and it's not our fault if something happens, because we're only going to give you that much of wine, that kind of stuff. But I wanted to make sure that we were okay. So yes, you can definitely send in whatever it is on your websites, on your paperwork, with the background behind what it is for, and you know whether you need to tweak it or whatever.
Oh, that's great for you, Sharon, with all of the websites you're building and all the.
Yeah, I do have some policies on there, but I was just thinking more for other sites that maybe I want to build that have sort of unique circumstances, or you just want to make sure that you do things right, and it's not someone's going to come to you later and say, that you said you were going to do this, or so I'm just thinking ahead of some of the maybe opportunities I want to pursue and things like that.
Yep, absolutely. Any excuse me, any legal paperwork that you want them to review, up to certain, there is a page limit, but it depends on which plans, of course, that you get. But for small business owner that doesn't have employees, it's enough to cover those situations.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So just before we end off our session, and thank you for all of those amazing questions, I'll just also mention that this could become an income opportunity for you ladies. If you are in touch with small business who, like you, might need some family, home, or business protection, there is an option for you to add on to your membership it's called associate, becoming an associate, so that when you're talking to people, you can let them know about it as well. So just an additional thing to think about. Balbir, obviously it's, you've been at this for 11 or 14 years, or I'm sorry, I can't remember how long, 10 at least, right?
I've been active in this since 2018. I got separated in 2017. I didn't know I wanted to do it until having gone through it. And the support, the guidance, the affordability of going through the separation and divorce and all that, that's why I became passionate, because I'm thinking, oh my God, there are so many women out there that feel that they don't have the money to do this, to get out of a marriage. LegalShield gave me a new mission, a new lease of life, a passion, but also a way to earn an income. So if you know anybody that is maybe they want to stay at home looking after their babies, or they have other things, or maybe they just want to grow in different areas, or maybe they just want residual income. Maybe you like bonuses, you know, and we have residual income. I mean, I cannot sing, so there's no way that I'll get royalties from any songs out there, but I am going to get royalties from this. So if you know anybody out there, please let us know. Love to have a chat with them, and sort of just tell them about how LegalShield can help them, you know, financially as well as legally for their business.
So I have Balbir has taken me under her wing, and I am you know, looking at adding this opportunity to my offerings, because, well, just like $1,300 I just saved. So who doesn't want to save money?
For sure.
Okay, so we know we have some follow-up to do. Balbir, you've taken some notes
Yes.
on who to follow up with and with what information. And then we'll be sending the recording out to folks who missed the call. Yeah, and I'll when I send the recording, I'll send the contact information as well. And any final questions or final thoughts that you wanted to share?
No, thank you for the session. It was very informative.
Did it help, Sharon, with
Yeah, I mean, I've
understanding
heard it
how-
over the years. I've heard it, you know, been talked
Mhm.
about, but I've never really sort of looked into it or known anybody who could sort of speak about it. So yeah, it was nice to find
Well,
out more.
Thank you for coming.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for the
you,
information.
Christine.
This was actually good and needed right now where I'm at.
And Lena, if the information, I'm speaking for Balbir, but if the
Yeah.
information is helpful and you feel that a presentation for the corporation or the company with the 4 partners, if you feel that would be helpful, we can make arrangements to do that and just go answer those questions directly.
100%.
In
Yep.
one sitting, opposed to here's the information. Now you got to look at it. You got to look at it. You got to look at it.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, I will just forward them because I'm not a partner in that company. I can just
Yeah.
forward it to them, and then I feel like it's good value for money. I can give them all the information, and then, you know, I will leave it to them. They will get in touch with Balbir directly.
Sounds great, everyone.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Awesome. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
All right,
Have a good
thank you very
afternoon,
much.
everyone.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Balbir. Great presentation.
Thank you.